Oh, what's going on, everybody? It's Amon-Rellik, the God Slayer. How's it going? How y'all doing this evening? Think we can hang out a couple of hours. You know how we do. My previous Destiny videos seem to have garnered a little bit of an audience to them. So I was like, let me make a stream to just compile it all together while at the same time playing, doing some content and stuff like that. But I want to start the stream off first by giving a little disclaimer. These opinions and these statements and things of that nature are just mine alone. I am in no way, shape, or form going to be saying these or stating these things based on any kind of game development experience, which I have none. I'm going to be stating these things as a gamer who has played games since I was a kid and has watched the gaming industry change into what it's become over the years. Again, as an artist, a person who has done visual art for most of his life and has been in the writing sphere for most of his life as well. I am 39 years old, so that you all can understand the amount of time I'm particularly talking about here. And yeah, we'll get into it. Everybody grab a seat, grab something to drink, grab something to eat. We're gonna spend a little time together. Okay, all right. Okay. When it comes to Destiny, let's oh my. All right. When it comes to Destiny, let's first get out of the way that I play Destiny primarily solo. When you see me do the videos with Fire Team 7, basically the other two guys I play Destiny with when I am playing Destiny with them, that is a rare occasion. That is not the normal. Excuse me, I'm pouring water right now. That is not the that's not the normal circumstance in which I'm playing Destiny. I know that some people may have a very different experience of Destiny because of the fact that they have a bigger friend group that they play with, whether it's people they met online or whether it's people they know in person. But the vast majority of my Destiny career, so to speak, has been solo. So most of these opinions will be And that's, it's to be expected, I guess you could say. Most of my opinions will be coming from that point of view of a solo player. If I wanted to start this off being fair and just being straight up understanding, should I say, it must be difficult trying to create a game that can both please as many people as possible in order to sell well for your investors and those who give you these millions of dollars to play. Error code chicken, I see. We'll try again. But it must be difficult trying to do that while at the same time make a game that also will keep those who are like, purely dedicated to your game happy as well. Because every because every game has to juggle this. And the bigger your game is, the harder it becomes to juggle. How do you grow a fan base big enough to make the game profitable, yet at the same time please the ones that are considered the core fan base? Because that's usually how it works when you want to sell any kind of real product. Like, even if the product isn't the best, one thing you learn when you start dealing with business is your product doesn't have to be the best on the market. It just needs to work, and work well enough that it can be relied upon, generally speaking. So let's say you sell a product and your initial fan growth is 2 million people. But then out of those 2 million people, you get about, 500,000 that's like, this product's garbage, right? And then you have 1.5 million, right? 1,500,000. And out of those 1,500,000, you might get another, let's say 250 of those. So like the product isn't completely trash, but I wish for a better quality out of the product, out of a similar product. So I'm going somewhere else. Okay, so now you've gotten down to 1,250,000 of what you would then consider your core fan base, the core base by which you can continue to sell this product, and you can know that reliably you're going to get 1,250,000 people to buy it because they are loyal to not only the product itself but to the brand of that product, right? You, the person who's selling it to them. Now let's say the amount of money you put in, right, into the product to sell it the way you do. Let's say that 1,250,000 people cannot sustain that product at the price in which you have it at. You only got two choices. Either you raise the price and piss off the loyal fan base you do have, or you create a means to take that product and still reach more people and try to get more people again. And that's the conundrum it seems like Bungie is falling into a destiny, in the sense that it's trying to please as many people as possible, but it also would like to please those who, literally make their careers covering this game, and those who play this game as their sole entertainment, right? So it's like, how do you please them all? And of course, we all know the answer to that question is you don't. You have to you have to do something that most companies are afraid to do. You have to draw the line in the sand and make it completely clear as to who it is you're selling this game to. You gotta have some balls and some guts, and just stick your feet in the sand and draw that line and say, this is what it's going to be. If you do not like it, then there are other products out there. Because at least when you do that, there's no confusion as to why you do something at that point, because you've made it clear why you do something. Right now, it's Lightfall has reached this point where it seems like the reason why so many people are like just angry generally is because nobody knows who this game is for anymore. Is it for the lore nerds? Right? Is it for the writers and lore nerds? Like, I'm gonna tell you what attracted me to Destiny. It was the story. I didn't give a shit about the gunplay of Destiny. I don't even play first person shooters like that. Destiny is like the only first person shooter I play. It's the only one I really play. So it's not the first person shooting that attracted me to Destiny. It was the story. It was the first time I ever saw a first person shooter take their story to a grand and epic scale like this, where it was like a cosmic universal powers at play. So I was like, okay, let's see what Bungie got, you know? I mean, of course, I wasn't even a Halo fan for that matter. So it's like, I clearly judge Destiny on its own merits. And once you got over the hype train and, you know, in the honeymoon phase of Destiny 1, people began to realize then this story is Bungie is telling the story as if they are not, for one, confident in their story itself, and then two, as if they're trying to monetize not just their gameplay, but they want to monetize even the story around it. So it's like, okay, even the story began to be something that was like considered a joke back then. And Bungie clearly did not want their story to be considered a joke. They clearly didn't. So, if it's not for the lore nerds, maybe it's for the hardcore FPSers, right? Maybe it's for the competitive scene, the hardcore FPS guys, you know, the ones who don't play on controller. They play mouse and keyboard because it's, you know, it's the Chad way to play, right? Well, even they're not happy with Destiny. And to be quite honest, Bungie has like made it damn near absolutely clear that they can give a rat's ass about the hardcore PvP scene. They made it abundantly clear that Destiny is a PvE game with PvP tacked on to the side. You know, it's clear which side of the fence Bungie lands on when it comes to which part of the player base they value more. And again, that doesn't make them right or wrong. But what you have to do is you have to completely draw in the sand where you stand. Because right now, Bungie's like, we love you all the same. But your actions are showing that you treat one like that abandoned red-headed stepchild that you don't want. And the other is the kid who, no matter how hard he cries, you'll give him whatever it is just to stop him from crying for the time being. But then he always has something else that he's going to cry about again. So it's like, okay, one kid is being denied attention and the other is being spoiled to the point of becoming rotten himself, which is why you have some people who will look at the Destiny 2 community as a whole and be like, this community itself is rabid and horrible because they don't even understand the expectations of the things that they want. And me being a person who plays this game, I would say semi-hardcore, because I played since Destiny 1's release. And I've been into this game's lore and things of that nature since Destiny 1 release. So I'm not absolutely and yeah, Apex, what you got here? 9 out of 10 on the gameplay and missions. And that's the thing, that's what's so crazy about Bungie's releases when it comes to Destiny. There are certain things that they always get immaculately right? Like, they know how to make specific missions very, very entertaining, very, very good. Like, my favorite strike in the game is Glassway. That's my favorite strike in the game. And it's not just because I might like the particular strike itself, but I love the music at the boss part. I've listened to that music for hours. Reboot. It's called Reboot. That's what that song is called. I've listened to that for hours. And then I love how the lore behind that strike is specifically tied to Banshee 44. Somebody that we wrote off as just a vendor. Come to find out, most of his deaths and resets came from fighting in that damn place. You know, so it was like, the Glassway is like really cool to me. Strand, dope. Once we finally got all of the aspects, all the fragments. Once they finally gave us all the damn fragments, yeah, Strand is dope. Strand is fun. You know. But that story, the story of Lightfall, like I said before, like I said in the previous video, you can't be willing to throw hundreds of hours of grind on me, but then tell me that the story is only worth 30 minutes of my time. And then it's like with the grind, there's only like 9 or 10 red border weapons that you can get now. For the new stuff. And it's like, I'm finding that like just getting them is rough. Like just trying to get you can't even deep sight focus until week 3. What is up with this error code? Crazy. All right, this is the second time we got our error code. And so it's like, so you're telling me I can't even start to focus my deep sights until week 3, you know? Yeah, and that was another thing. How are you gonna make the witness? Because again, when you look at what the witness is capable of, or what we have seen of what he's capable of, it makes you genuinely ask, how are we gonna beat that? We just saw a Guardian get flicked and just turn into pizza. Just slices of pizza. Like, we saw what he did. So it's like, how are we gonna beat that? You know? And so you really had people like, hold up. We need answers right now because this shit don't look good. Especially when you got, them clearly stating that we lost. We lost. Well, by the time it was over, you didn't feel like you lost. All you felt like was that stuff happened. He went into the Traveler somehow. He slid himself in there with the pyramid ships, and then that was it. You didn't know what that meant. There was no repercussions to that. It wasn't like when he did that, all of a sudden, extinction level event happened. Nothing else happened. Even now, we're still trying to help people on Earth get out of the Shadow Legion's grasp, and the Traveler's just hovering there with a triangle in his chest. We don't know what's going to happen. Is it going to blow up? Is it going to swallow the universe? And here's my thing. For 9 years, we paid Bungie to tell us this story. For 9 years, we paid them to tell us this story. And so, like I said before, people have a right to demand better out of their story. For 10 years, we've been opening our wallet for years for this story. And again, I had this problem with the way they did the especially what they're doing now. I don't know if it's going to be better, but the way they're shaping up to do the Season of Defiance, I did the Tuesday quest yesterday, and it literally took me nothing but like maybe 30 minutes. I mean, yeah, something like that. Oh, not just, even with that, you could take it even further with the whole, Traveler being, if it's now dead, yeah, we should have like a poison light debuff or something like that. The Tormentors should not have been merely in the story, and that's it. Like, what happened to the Tormentors just popping up? Like they said they were. You can be on Neomuna for fucking hours and never see a Tormentor. Like, the Tormentors was supposed to be this new big baddie that would just come and fuck up all your gameplay while you're out, doing patrols on Neomuna or something like that. It was supposed to be this thing you were just scared that it was gonna pop up at some point and just come fuck you up. Like, what happened? And for all you guys who are just now joining, I'm not just sitting on a screen for no reason. I've been trying to get into this game, and every time it tries to put me in, I get error coded. I get error code chicken. I mean, and it would have, and look, that would have gone so much better if they, like you said, kept that energy on top of, since they already raised the base difficulty of everything, having a Tormentor pop up in the middle of a terminal overload. Terminal overloads can already get hectic and out of control. Imagine a Tormentor just popping the fuck up in there. And not the regular ones that you can just throw your strand out and have them hung up in the air. I'm talking about the Tormentors that you can't do that to. The boss versions of those Tormentors. Imagine those just popping up in the middle of a terminal overload while you already getting pounded on by Vex and Shadow Legion. Because, I mean, yeah, we said we wanted the difficulty to go up to justify more of the power that we have in terms of our builds and stuff. But it's like, the capstone of that difficulty was supposed to be the Tormentors. That's what we all saw. They were like, not only is the game going to be more difficult, but we brought a capstone enemy. An enemy that you cannot ignore. You can't just sweep them to the side. This is going to be like death on legs, Tormentors. And we only ever saw them in the campaign. Like that should, like I said, that should be an enemy that randomly spawns. It should just randomly spawn during that. It should randomly spawn in strikes. You should be doing strikes and that shit should randomly spawn on you. Imagine if you're doing something like a Nightfall, and you guys are at the final boss, and a Tormentor just spawns on you right in there, right inside that that boss arena. Like, it should be an enemy that's like that you're constantly worried about, that you're constantly in fear of. It should be one of those things where the difficulty shouldn't have just been, okay, let's turn up the difficulty so that now it takes like 5 to 6 shots to kill a regular red bar enemy. it's not like the red bar enemies are lethal on their own. I mean, in packs they can be now, you know. But like, but when you're talking like, you can take a good, strong scout rifle. I would like to believe that, but then it makes me wonder how. It makes me wonder how I'm streaming. Did I see Paul Tassie's? Yeah, I saw. You talking about the one where he talked about how the red borders. He was basically talking about the general difficulty of the game and how there's a lot of parts in it that just feels like the difficulty shouldn't be that high in certain things. Cause I think he's the one also that made the idea, who talked about the fact that like red border enemies now take like 5 or 6 shots to kill. And you know, while again, I can understand that the difficulty level can be jarring, especially for those who've been used to the very casual difficulty of old Destiny 2. But I mean, I like it because it makes you take advantage. It makes you have to take advantage of your kit a lot more often. Yo, that's when I almost started just like dying laughing when Bive had to be like, okay, this is bad, you know. You know, like, you know, when Bive comes out of nowhere and is like, okay, yeah, this is kind of rough, this is kind of bad or whatever. It's like, all right. Because usually Bive doesn't really go hard on Bungie. You know, at least you don't ever see that. So now we've gone back to this point where, you know, on release, I had this screen where they talked about the traffic being increased and they throttled the login services, you know. But if the error code chicken is supposed to be my internet, then I have no idea how it is I'm able to stream with you guys right now, and how I've been, like, my setup hasn't changed in any way over the last 2 streams. Well, I streamed this game 3 times in a row: release day, the day after release day, and the day after that. So I don't know. I don't know what Bungie got going on. But like, it's for me, it's the fact that I guess for me it's just the fact that I've come to realize that it's like, it's I guess okay. This is gonna probably sound very harsh, but I don't think I can say it any other way. The simple fact that Bungie comes out with something doesn't justify the fact that they can just come out with any old thing. It's not like the deal is I pay you and you just come out with something. That's not the deal. You know, especially when you're talking about we live in a world with inflation. We live in a world where the prices of our groceries are going up. We live in a world where the prices of our gas is going up. We live in a world where the American dream of having a home, picket fence on one income, having a full family in a nice home and a picket fence in a good neighborhood used to be capable with just one income, the husband. This world, we've all come to realize the American dream, it was literally that, just a dream now. You know, all right, man, take care, Apex. And so it's like, because Bungie says, hey, give us some money and we'll give you something. It doesn't give them the right to just treat us like, here, take this minimum viable effort, take this minimum viable product, and be happy with that. Don't complain about that whatsoever. Because what happens then is you as the consumer begin to devalue yourself. You begin to devalue yourself, and you begin to devalue your time and your money. And both are equally valuable. A lot of people don't think that. We've been so used to grinding in games that we have forgotten that the time we put into grinding is very valuable, because we only get one life to spend our lives doing something on. The grind must make sense. You know what I mean? Like, the grind's gotta make sense. Again, we as consumers have begun to devalue our own time and our own money because these companies say that we should. They say, hey guys, it's not that big of a deal that we made red border drops atrocious, even though we only gave you 10 red borders to hunt. As if your 10 to 15 hours of grinding and not even being able to secure one fully craftable weapon isn't a raw deal. That's a raw deal, because that's 15 hours that you've gone somewhere, and the progress you've made has been negligible. It's been negligible progress. And so it's like, where did we get this point? Where did we come to a point where we no longer value our time nor our money? It's like, if I sit down and I decided I want to devote 5 hours to playing a single game, I need to make genuinely meaningful progress in those 5 hours. By the time those 5 hours are over, I need to look back on what I did and be like, that was actually 5 hours worth of fucking progress. Especially when I know that when I'm hunting, is literally a reskin of what I've once hunted before. So if I'm not hunting something that's meaningfully different, then how does that justify the grind being as bad or worse? And here's the thing. The big payoff is supposed to be these great stories. When we got barely an hour of cutscene to the penultimate chapter of the Light and Darkness saga that we've been spending money on for almost 10 years now. I've never been one to fall into it. I'm not trying to call myself special or anything like that, because a lot of people are like this. But I've just never been I've never fell into the monotony of thinking that, oh, the people who feed me the content that I pay for, they're always right. No. That's not how that works. You know, civilizations, countries, we didn't build this world of materialism on the idea of sell me anything, period. We've only recently, over the last couple of decades, have reached that point to where you can sell anybody anything down. But like, there used to be a day where if you paid full price, you got a full product. And why is it that in this day and age, games like Elden Ring are like awe-inspiring to people? Wow, a $60 game in which you get all this stuff for one price, no microtransactions, when that used to be the standard of how games were brought out back in the day. And people will say, well, the price of games have gone up. Elden Ring wasn't cheap. You know, like, yeah, the price of things have gone up. That's the reason why the price of your games, period, have gone up. When it used to be $40 for a full price game, then it rose to like $50 for a full price game. Now it's $60, and now they're pushing up to point. I think PlayStations are like what, $70 now? It's gonna get to a point to where $100 won't even be the deluxe edition no more, or the expandable edition no more, like it is right now. Soon it's gonna be $100 just for the base game. And it's like, okay, when is enough is enough? When do we say, if I pay you the hard-earned money that I could be taking that $60 and putting elsewhere, I need a product of worth. I need a product of worth. And it's like, the one or two great moments that Destiny can give you, is not enough for you to be for you to just lay down and take whatever else they give. You can't say, well, the gunplay is great, so everything else gets to suck. No. No. That's not how that gets to, no. Especially when you're telling me that I can't even experience the full story by buying the campaign alone. I have to buy the campaign, and then after I spend the $50, $60 on the campaign, I gotta spend another 50 or so to get the other 3 seasons, because you're not gonna tell me a complete story on day one. You're gonna tell me a story that is literally time gated and money gated at the same time. So what? Your fucking gameplay is nice. That does not excuse the rest. But people don't see their video games as products. A lot of people don't see their video games as products. They see their video games as almost like football teams, or, you know, they see it as something to be loyal to. They see a game as something to be loyal to, and not as a product. And again, like, I am in no way saying that, you know, Bungie's rotten or anything like that. I mean, there can be cases made on that, but I'm not here to so much spout that. Like I said in the beginning, man, it's gotta be tough trying to have built a franchise that's so big that you got people willing to fund it, but at the same time, it's like, the amount of money that it takes to make this franchise what it is, you can't just please the core fan base. You have to try and get as many people as possible. That's the reason why this is a story where all the major characters fit a certain mold. Like, if you want to go down the rabbit hole while we're sitting here on these "one moment please" screens, right? if you want to go down the rabbit hole, let's go down the rabbit hole. Every major character in Destiny that has anything to do with the true major story, all of them are homosexual. Almost all of them are. Even ones that in the beginning weren't even alluded to being that way are now. You know, it's one of those things where you're trying to grab as many people as possible because you need as many people as possible to you know, there's so many people. The funding is so large, or the needed funding is so large that you can't just use the hardcore player base to fund your game no more. They're not an indie game. This is a game that's so large that the actual CEO got to go and do a press conference with a bunch of other game developers, and they all wanted to know, how did you do it? How did you take a live service model and make it work, Bungie? Like, they set the Destiny 2's live service model is the bar by which all live service models would love to be at. They would love to be where Destiny is live service model wise. But what they don't see in that live service model is like that model, it can only work for so many people for so long. And here's the thing about that live service model that a lot of people who try it don't understand. The more money you demand from me as a consumer, the more money you demand from me, the harder you need to work to earn it. Meaning, they say, well, you only pay $100 a year. Okay, but I'm playing the same game. It's not like Destiny changes so drastically that it's a whole different game I'm playing next year, or the year before that, or the year after that, should I say. I'm still playing the same game. What you're doing is saying, give me $100 so you can have extra stuff in this game. Well, the more I have to pay you that money, you need to justify every single dollar I'm giving you after the initial purchase price. After the initial purchase price of the game, I need reasons to keep giving you money. You can't just say, well, it's a live service. Because it doesn't have to be. Destiny could have been a single player campaign game. But you chose to make it a live service because you thought, or you claimed, we're going to give you new experiences constantly for a rotating price of $100 every year. You're going to get new experiences. And it's gotten to the point to where those new experiences are becoming more and more mundane. And the more mundane they become, the harder time people have to justify giving $100, man. Especially when your seasonal content has gotten to the point to where week 2, this week, yesterday I did the week 2 quest line, and it consisted of 1 mission and 2 little hollow projector conversations. That's all it was. And you mean I gotta wait 7 days for that? You could have stuck that. You could have stuck that and week 1's all together. And that could have just been week 1's quest line. You could have stuck yesterday's and week 1's quest line all together, and that could have just been one. I don't know what the deal is here. Well, I know what's happening with this. Every time you end up in this screen, you're in a queue. I'm basically queued up, but but if you stay queued up too long, it just times you out. That's what's happening. Yeah, my internet isn't broken, because if my internet was fucked up, I couldn't talk to y'all right now. But I'm being put in this queue, and I'm in it so long that I'm timing out each time. And it's like, I just wish Bungie. Okay, you wanna charge $60? Fine. You wanna charge $100 a year for your expansion and seasons? Fine. But respect my time as well. Respect my time and respect my money, man. That's all I ask you to do. That's all I need you to do. It's made me feel like when I log into this game, that achievable and meaningful progress is possible, and that I don't have to sacrifice an entire half of my day to get anywhere. It's like, because again, you can only shoot at targets for so long before you get sleepy as hell or bored as fuck. You can only do that for so long. And the dopamine trip that you get from seeing a red border starts to get old when you realize you've only seen 2 or 3 red borders drop, not even on the same weapon, but separate weapons, in like a 6-hour period. I played yesterday for like 6-7 hours, and I got like 3 red borders. If not, I think I only got like 3, and it was all for the same, for different guns. So the progress I was making, literally for one gun, was little to nothing. And so it's like, you know, as the owner of the IP, they have the right to price whatever they want on the product that they created. The price is something that, while I can say, yeah, a lot of times they do price gouge on a lot of their stuff, at the same time, it's something that it's an argument that I myself know that will probably never change regardless. But at least the other arguments that I am saying, or that I'm putting out there, these are arguments that can actually be, all they gotta do is just look at their customers as more than just dollar signs. If they would just look at their customers and be like, yo, I mean, look at themselves. Do any of them do this grind? Do any of them do this grind? Or do they just program in there that we all get the weapons already crafted? Do any of them actually have to put forth that grind? And does it feel good to do it? Like, would any of them openly admit that it feels great to grind like this? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I just don't like my time being disrespected. I don't like my time and my money being disrespected, yo. And yo, Omar, on that tip too, on that No Man's Sky shit, yo, I like a couple of months ago, I got that game, and I was like, okay, yeah, it started off, No Man's Sky was considered trash, and them motherfuckers buckled down, and they decided, let's not disrespect our player base like we did when we first brought this game out. Now, No Man's Sky, with the amount of content you get, and mind you, I just bought the game flat price, and they didn't charge for none of them DLCs they gave out, and the amount of content in that game is fucking, it's overwhelming how much shit there is in that game now. Like, I told my homeboy, I was like, man, I had to stop playing it, because I was overwhelmed with how much there was. in No Man's Sky. I was like, that's woo. And like I've played survival games for thousands of hours. I got like over 1,500 hours in Conan Exiles. You know what I'm saying? Like I know what it's like to really get down and grind dirty. I got close to about 1,000 hours or more in Destiny. I know what it's like to get down and dirty. But No Man's Sky was like, whoo, shit. I was like, if I played No Man's Sky, I would have to play that game and nothing else. Like that's how big that game is. Like, I was thoroughly impressed by what you got for a single payment, a single price given out, and the amount of shit you got. I was thoroughly impressed. And like, what's most frustrating is we know for a fact Bungie can do better than this. We know for a fact they can because they've done it. Because they've done it. There have been certain points in times when I have been awestruck by Destiny. And I'm like, yo, no first-person shooter has done this or has, shown this kind of scale and this kind of... Destiny has wowed us before. They know how to do it. And it's like going to a restaurant and you go to that restaurant 5 times a week, right? And only on Tuesdays do they sell you the premium good ass steak that you love to eat so much. The other 4 days, they keep selling you trash ass, processed meat and bullshit, right? But because they sell you that shit on that one day, you call the place great. Oh man, this restaurant's great, man. But only on Tuesdays. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how Bungie does it. It's that thing of, we'll be great every now and then. But for the majority of the time, we're going to be mediocre. But you got to understand something. The price won't change. You got to understand the price is not going to change based on the level of service we provide. Because again, if you're going to say live service, then that means I'm paying for services. I'm paying annually for services. Well, if those services are not up to snuff, then there's only two things you have. There's only two choices you truly have for the consumer and seller agreement to work. And those two choices is either you must drop the price on your services because they are no longer up to snuff, or you must up the level of your services to justify the price in which we pay for them. It's simple business. I guess you could say it's simple business ethics, even though most companies don't follow business ethics. At least not as much as they're supposed to, you know. I guess you can kind of see I'm showing my age right now, because I'm 39 years old. I'm probably showing my age talking business ethics when it comes to a video game. But it's very much the truth. It's very much the truth. You know, I pre-ordered Lightfall like an idiot, but I did it because I make content. So it was like, you know, and I've played Destiny for so long, I'd be an idiot not to try and make content. Or should I say, I'd be an idiot not to try and cover something that was supposed to be, that was touted, that was like hyped up to be one of the biggest expansions yet, because it was the penultimate expansion. This is right before the big hoorah of Destiny 2, and I can't get in. I can't get in. Now I can't even experience the services for which I paid for. You know. And you got people out there who genuinely believe that customers don't have the right to look at that and say, this shouldn't happen. I paid for a service, it should work. Because the least, and like I said in the very beginning of this stream, the rules are, if you pay for something, what the creator of the product has to do, at the very minimum, is make sure that it works. That it reliably works. And that's with any product that's sold to you. The minimum viable thing is that it's supposed to work. It might not work well, but it's supposed to work. Right now, the value of my $100 is zero, because I can't even take part in the services that I pay Bungie for. And what I love about this is this. I'm streaming my, I didn't intend on it to be this way either. It's like, I'm streaming to you guys live, trying to get into the game, because I wanted to try and explain certain points while playing the game at those points. I wanted to be able to let you see the points while I'm explaining them to you by playing certain things and showing you the point I'm trying to make. But I can't even do that because the service is not even working correctly. And the fact that I'm able to stream to you guys shows that my internet is fine. The fact that I'm being constantly put into this queue, and I'm in this queue for a good minute before I time out, shows that my internet is fine. But then I time out with an error code, and the error code doesn't explain anything to me. Because whether the error code is chicken, whether the error code is cranberry juice, whether the error code is Dr. Pepper, it doesn't matter what the error code says, because it says the exact same thing each time. They give you that same message, but the error code name will change, but the exact same message will come up. You should check your internet, even though the message that the error code we give you can be one of like 20 different error codes, but you should check your internet. Nah. We all sitting here live right now, cozy, in the dungeon of the Godslayer, and y'all working, right? I'm working. I can see y'all typing. Well, I can see what y'all type, you know. I can see when y'all pop up in here. I can read what y'all say. Y'all can hear what I'm saying, right? Ain't no audio problems, are there? Ain't no back and forth problems, are there? The only broke thing right now in this whole equation is this game. And again, like, PR speak don't work on me. You know what I mean? The whole spiel they be having about how we love our player base, that shit don't work on me. because because I know the way big money works. When you get to a certain point, man, any kind of publicity you can get works in your favor. So trust, from the small streamer to the big streamer, whoever's covering Destiny on a regular basis helps the company profits. Anybody who's what's that word I'm looking for? Anybody who's not promoted, but who's, what's the word I'm looking for? Sponsored by Bungie, they help the pockets. They help grow the pockets. You know, all of that. So it's like, that whole spiel about community that Bungie loves to talk, I never believed in that. I never believed in that. You know, like I said, I know how big money works. When you get to a certain point, you just need people talking about your stuff. If you can just get people talking about it enough, you end up having this constant feedback loop where the more people talk about it, the more, you know, the more people will be driven to go see what the game is about. And the more that people are driven to see what the game is about through your streamers and things of that nature, it causes the streamers to get more money, which would then make the streamers want to, you know, cover the game more often because more people's eyes are on them through the game. And so then the next thing you know, those people are then being sold the game through these streamers. Then of course they go buy the game and they end up in the situation where they get hooked on the, you know, they get hooked on the great or the sometimes caustic grind loop, and now you have a new player giving you $100 a year. So it's like, you know, plus whatever's Eververse, plus whatever Eververse is doing. You see this message? Your connection to Destiny 2 character servers has been lost. Please check your network configuration and try again. For information on resolving this issue, visit helpbungie.net and search for error code chicken. And it looked like BattleEye just tried to kick me. BattleEye has detected a problem. Code Plum. Okay. You guys get to kind of see try this again. Stream's current bit range 0. Okay, where are we at? Stream health is excellent. Okay, we've got. Here we go, chicken again. Okay. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do let's do need to chicken. I don't know why my catalog's on error code. Okay. Here we are, Bungie.net. Okay, why connections recommended to play? I have that. Clear the console cache. Clear the DOM launcher. So that is in settings. Download. Okay. All right. Then we'll go over here to Steam real quick. Right? And we'll go to our settings, right? Steam settings. Downloads. Clear download cache. Okay. And now I should have to log back into Steam again. Which wants me to do this. Great. Okay. So I did my little clear and clean cache shit. Let's see if this shit works. Alright. I did my little clearing cache. Because mind you, I had to restart Steam. In terms of the music, while we wait on this, on terms of the music, I have a good opinion on the music. The music is good. The music is really good. It gives that I don't know what they thought they were doing talking about the whole 80s action movie feel. I don't see it. I mean, maybe it's there, but I don't see it. But in terms of music, still very good music. But again, Bungie's never failed when it's come to like good music. I really like the Neomuna-ish theme. The Neomuna, I guess you could call it the Neomuna's theme. It was the moment of truth. Oh shit. Oh man. Oh. Hey, look. Look. Y'all saw me do it. Y'all saw me do it on stream. Client not responding. Oh my god. So the error. So is it is the error with BattleEye or is it with? All right. Let's let's are you, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Is it because I'm recording? Is it because I'm recording? Okay. Okay, guys. I think it's because I'm recording. I think Bungie thinks my recording software. I think it's because of my recording software. Let me mind you, I recorded. I've streamed this game 3 times already. I'm gonna have to make a second. I'm gonna make a second stream in a second here, but I